Mr. Speaker, sir, the fundamental mistake that side proposition is made in today's debate is that a constitution equals democracy and it equals a no dictatorship system, ladies and gentlemen. I've come here to tell you that this is particularly fallacious and deals away with their whole case. Ladies and gentlemen, we have countries like Britain, Israel, Australia. These countries have no written constitutions. These countries are there. They do not operate with the constitutions, but they're one of the models of democracies in the world, ladies and gentlemen. We have countries like Mali, we have countries like Somalia, which have constitutions that were left by the previous colonial governments. But those countries, they're dictatorships. Because they have no rule, they do not respect the law, and they have no self-restraint, and they just don't listen to the law. So what protects really democracy, and what prevents a dictator? So is it because there is a law that prevents a dictator, or is it because of self-restraint? So is it that person who actively says, I am not going to oppress my people, or it's because of the law? The very reason why we call you a dictator is because you have no respect for the rule of law. Government, for the rule of law. You actively engage in acts which are against the rule of law. So in dictatorship systems, there is a constitution. So the whole debate in today, they're trying to prove a system where we're going to actively fight the system of dictatorship. So we're telling you that you can still be a dictator with that constitution that is cast in stone, because the constitution is not going to arrest you. The constitution is not going to kill you. You are the one with the power. You are the one with the police, and you're going to do whatever you want in any case. So it's a matter of listening to the people before the people turn into dictatorship down now. Okay, so now two prevalent issues came out in this debate. So I'm gonna deal with these issues in the following way. So
before you deal with them,
yes, ma'am.
are you aware that because of our history we had to change our constitution?
What exactly, ma'am? That's exactly what we're saying. So we need to keep on continually change the constitution. That's exactly what we're trying to say. Thank you for that point, ma'am. So the question I have to answer in today's debate as the chief whip is, which policy best protects democracy? So they've come here and they've told you that, well, the South African constitution is so lovely, it's dreamland, basically. There's nothing wrong with it. So we have problems with this. So we think this is a very myopic view, because the kind of problems, the challenges that we face today are different from the challenges we faced from 10 years' time. So 10 years ago, we faced the problem of fighting colonialism, problems of fighting apartheid, problem of having political will. Okay, so now in 2012, we're having problems of fighting economical war. Okay, so we need laws that are going to help us achieve greater economic significance in our lives. So we're fighting a different life. In that manner, in that regard, we need the constitution to be continually amended to fight within us, because they misunderstand a constitution. So a constitution is just a legal framework, just the aspirations of the people. It's basically not law. So they come here, they tell us about all these children's rights and all these beautiful things. Okay, these are contained in acts of parliament. Constitution basically contains the aspirations of the people. It contains that we want a democratic society. It doesn't tell you how it's going to make a democratic society. So the constitution gives just a legal framework on how these things are actually going to be implemented. So we need this legal framework to be continually changed so that it facilitates for growth and it doesn't stifle progress in society, because society needs to continually be growing. Okay, so my partner comes up here and he tells me that, okay, so this is going to create some sort of document dictatorship. Okay, so we tell you that, so they're trying to achieve a system of democracy. So we're telling you that this document that's going to bind people, it's going to bind government. So it means that when you get into power, essentially you can't change anything. You just have to run with what's there. So you don't have a voice, essentially. And that's dictatorship. And we're telling you that this document becomes a dictator. So the dictator in this instance is not Hitler, it's the document. And the document is actively oppressing the wills of the people. Because the wills of the people today is so different from what the people wanted 20 years ago. So people continually change as the society goes on and on and on. Okay, so now moving right along. So to this rebuttal, one of the points that they have. So the major problem that side closing government had is that this thing is so strenuous and it takes a lot of time. Hence, we cannot do this. Okay, we find this is particularly ridiculous, Speaker said, because of time. Hence, we cannot do this. Okay, let's just not debate that point. All right. Okay. Moving right along. Okay, so they So we need representation. So we need a system where I can go in parliament and I can sit there and I can have my views represented. Okay, so now, let's say 20 years after now, let's just accept what they're saying. Let's cast this current constitution now. But it's there. Okay, so let's say after 20 years, a miracle happens, like everyone turns Christian and was now so against homosexuality, like we're going to kill you if you get. So what happens to the constitution? Because we can't change the constitution. The constitution is there, it's stagnant, it can't change. It's now arresting progress. It's now arresting what the society wants. So, before I do that, yes, ma'am.
Do you realize that the right of homosexuality was changed in the constitution that is current, that we're writing in this day?
To the housing line. I'm proud to say I'm a law student, and that's particularly fallacious. No right has been changed. The right not to discrimination against sexual orientation was there in the original constitution in 1994. Okay, what was changed was only a court judgment to allow homosexual marriages. It wasn't a right. The constitution hasn't been changed. Hence, I was telling you that the constitution is only a legal framework to provide mapping for the introduction of laws. It's not the law itself. So the laws are out there and are being changed by what the constitution wants. Okay. So okay. Okay, so why do we deserve to win this particular debate now? Yes, sir. So we tell you that in this debate, it's all about democracy. It's all about who protects democracy the most. It's all about who listens to the wills of the people, who protects the freedoms of the people. So we gave you an analysis that their policy actively and inactively suppresses the will of the people because of its stagnancy and its ossification of the law, because it doesn't move on, it doesn't allow for growth, it doesn't allow for change. So we tell you that their policy consciously advocates for a dictatorship, which is document dictatorship. And we tell you that outside of the house, as closing government, we are fighting for democracy, and for democracy, don't let us win.
I would like to thank all the speakers for the debate, and would now allow the adjudicators to leave the room. Everyone, please just sit down. We have some small awards for you guys. Thank you.